afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for the last 2 years, 4 months and 5 days. I bet you thought you'd never see me again. Coffee today. My mother bought me this mug, and I don't think she was being particularly complimentary, but who cares, because I like it. Anyway, what's been happening? What has been happening? Well, there's been quite a few knitting meetups. There's been quite a few, but there's been only a couple of us, 2 or 3. It's been a little bit limited. So I was thinking I might not be carrying on doing the knitting news, but I think really being me, I can probably think of something to say every week that's knitting related. So you're not necessarily stuck with me because you don't have to watch if you don't want to. So we haven't seen Petrina, Athene or Sarah or Andrea, but I'm quite sure they're still going to be creating things because, you know, you can just tell, can't you? You don't just stop. So we haven't seen them, but we have seen... Oh, and one member's not coming because she's got quite a memory problem now that's very limiting, and I'm sure you can probably guess who that is. We have Fee, who keeps coming and going, and you never quite know whether you're going to see her, but expect her when you see her. Fee's been making lace shawls and becomes lace shawls, and she's making a log cabin blanket out of 4-ply, which is so lovely and so neat that it just doesn't look like it needs blocking. It's really, really beautiful. She came to knitting one night with a monkey that she was making. A daughter had asked her to make a monkey. Now she'd made the body, and she was stuffing the body, and then she was finishing off the head, and she stitched the head on the body. And she sat it on the table and went, "Oh, the head's on the wrong way around." But actually, we just give it a squish and it was fine. Absolutely fine. And I think it was on the right way around, but it just looked like it was on the wrong way around. Like the writing on my mug. But we can all read backwards, can't we? Anyhow, Andy also likes to go off on a tangent and do her own thing, you know, with the knitting. She's been doing quite a lot of brioche lately. I know she's done a couple of brioche hats, and well, she was making this capelet that just covers the shoulders and, you know, keeps you warm in winter, with cascading leaves. Well, the last time I saw it, it was down to her knees. So after the heat wave, she's going to be lovely and warm. So sometimes we see her and sometimes we don't. Jill has been making... Well, she went through a big sock phase and she was using, King Cole Footsie. And it's all different fruit colours. So there was passion fruit, strawberry, banana. And the colour themes, she bought a ball of each one, made a pair of socks out of each one, and then made some scrappy socks at the end out of what was left. And then she was fed up of making socks, as you can well imagine. So then she went on to doing some lace cardigans. She's made a couple. But years ago, she made a Debbie Bliss one. And I started mine around the same time. Now, Jill made hers and shrunk it. So then she replaced it by making another one. And mine got put in the poof with the UFOs. And I do like it. I really want to wear it. And it's nearly finished now because I was inspired by Jill's third making of this cardigan to get my first making of this cardigan back out and have a look. And all I had to do was a little bit of the yoke at the back and the front because it's got a strange construction. So anyway, I'll be able to show you soon. So what I have made during this strange period where, well, at first there wasn't much of a knitting group. No, at first we couldn't have a knitting group. And then after that, I think people took quite a while to be keen on being at the knitting group. And I must say, I've changed some of the things that I do too, since everything stopped. Priorities have changed. So, anyway, we may be back on track now. Fingers crossed. I've made, 9 tops, 3 pairs of socks, which is quite unlike me. A love note, which I don't know if that's included in me tops or not, because I've just made this list a while ago. 2 pairs of hand warmers. 1 pair I haven't seen since I wore them. They were very fine lace weight with a lace section down the middle and some beads. And they were very pretty, and they were a kit that I bought at Woolfest. So they might turn up. I think I must have just put them somewhere peculiar. I made a little amigurumi bunny for a baby, so that's gone. And a matinee coat and hat and booties for another baby. So I've been quite busy. Oh, and 2 shawls, this being one of them, and I'm quite surprised it stayed on so long. This is A Secret Friend by Christina Villamante? I wrote it down. Anyway, it's Anima Knits on Ravelry. Now, she designs quite a lot of shawls, but this was a secret friend, meaning it was a secret knit-along, meaning that you couldn't put the photographs on the internet. So I found it, while not going to knitting groups and knitting something that I really liked and not being able to share it, was a bit frustrating, really. Anyhow, you only need sort of full skeins in the main colour, and all the other colours are just 40 gram, 50 gram, 30 gram, 60 gram. It's all listed in the pattern. So that's one end. And then around this side we've got pleats. So anyway, do you find that you gravitate towards the same sort of colour scheme, or colours that all the colours that you like all go together? So when you make something that's like a scrappy project, you can just pick out colours and they all go together. Anyway, I wear it quite a lot, but I don't think I'm going to wear it today because it's rather warm. I've got another very warm project to show you. You know when you go in charity shops and you see a bag full of wool and it's decent quality wool and it's like £3, £4. So you buy it and you've got no plan. Well, when I had a look through my stash, I had quite a lot of mohair. So it's all like 70s, 80s, 1970s, 1980s kind of mohair. So it's not like the lovely lace mohair with silk. It's not that. So it's big chunky mohair. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get some really big needles. I think they were 8mm or 10mm. And I put 3 strands together. And I made a 10-stitch mitered blanket. So every time a colour ran out, I just tied in another colour, because I had more of some colours than others. But when you're using 3, it kind of blends. I can't see through it, so am I showing this off quite well? There's a bigger hole. go. So that used quite a bit of wool up. And, ooh, you know when you're on the sofa at night and it's a bit cold? Oh, just pull it off and get wrapped up. So I think I've remembered to tell you everything that I can think of just this time. And more news, maybe, next week.